Hi there, this is Rachel Adner. I just want to record my module post for the second time. Got deleted, so I will try again. But this module is interesting. I got kind of my first exposure to Christian privilege, which is what I'll focus on in this post during the social justice class over the summer. So it's been helpful to have some time kind of away from that because over the summer I think was the first time I was really exposed to the idea, and so it's been helpful to have some time in between to kind of think about it and differences or how my opinion might have changed or other things that I now consider that I might not have considered before. So the article that I liked a lot and probably most connected with was the About Campus article about Christian privilege. Like I mentioned, I already known about that, but I just think this article really tied it in directly to higher education and what that really means for a student on a campus, on a traditional campus. So, I mean, I think all of the things they mentioned were really interesting, like, the breaks over the holidays, and I wonder, if holidays fall at a different time, which I'm sure, I know that many of them do. What does that look like for students? What are those accommodations that are being made? And we would hope that professors are being accommodating of those, but also I wonder if students are hesitant to ask for that time or bring up that accommodation. I know that it can be difficult for students that might not feel like they have the support, so I'm just curious about that. But it's an interesting point that we truly do revolve our breaks and our schedules around American holidays. So, and I don't know that that will change at any point, but I think as long as students know that accommodations can be made and that, their requests will be accepted, I guess, if you will. So I thought that was interesting. The other thing is the dining hall. Because I do live on campus and eat there quite a bit, I think about even, not even, anything related to religious needs, but just needing options. And I would say that the dining hall tries to do a pretty good job, but if you're picky really at all, your options could be pretty limited in terms of what you can eat. And I've had a conversation with the international office that works with international students, and just talking about some challenges that they face, and just kind of overall in general. And that was one of the things was diet and having access to foods that they want all of the time. So it's just interesting kind of to hear those things. And then I think something that was clear in the article, but I think it makes you think about, is really that the administration has to be really supportive of supporting other, religious holidays and just accommodations, period. I think it's very easy, not just for administration, but I mean, I think right now it's a big time for my RAs and a lot of people to do programming, and of course everyone wants to program around Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everyone wants to have, a Thanksgiving dinner and dress up and all of these things, but I mean, I really try to challenge my staff to be inclusive and make sure that they're thinking about others in terms of holidays. Are we celebrating? There's several holidays that are celebrated in December, so are we thinking about those things? So I also think it like that mirrors to administration. Is administration allowing their employees or making it known that accommodations can be made, or is administration having a Christmas party that their staff, might not feel comfortable attending? So, or is it called a holiday party? Or, so I think those things are interesting. Another thing, kind of getting away from the Christian privilege, but just thought was interesting, was in the Evans text where it talked about just kind of giving the definition of spirituality and kind of relating that to faith and religion and all of that. And I think it's really interesting because when I hear spirituality, I think I'm guilty of automatically relating it to religion or something similar. So it was kind of helpful to read a different definition and kind of just kind of thinking of it as a connection kind of to something greater, or kind of just feeling at peace with things. So I think it's interesting. And I think another thing that's interesting is, whether it's a liberal arts school or whether it's any institution that promotes, kind of the education of the whole self, whether those institutions are more likely to accommodate situations or are more likely to push kind of other options or make sure that students are aware of what resources are available, whether it's, you know, asking for accommodations or a place of worship or anything along those lines. So I just thought that that was kind of interesting to read about that. So I will wrap up, but thank you so much for listening.